Here we are on section 7.4. Let's do a few problems. Number 11, we have the same radical part, so we can add them together. But before we can add, we need to have a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by 5, top and bottom of this one by 3, and I'm going to get 25 square roots of 2 over 15 plus 6 square roots of 2 over 15. Now that we have a common denominator, we can add the top. Remember, the radical part and the variable part do not change when we add or subtract, so I'm going to have 31 square roots of 2 over 15. Let's move on to question number 13. It says the cube root of 11 over 8 minus the cube root of 11 over 6. First thing we have to do is simplify this 8 out of here. So I'm going to rewrite it as cube root of 11 over cube root of 8 is 2. Now, since we have the same radical part, the cube root of 11, we need to get a common denominator. Let's multiply top and bottom here by 3, giving me 3 cube roots of 11 over 6 minus the cube root of 11 over 6. So 3 minus, there's the understood 1 there, gives me 2 cube roots of 11 over 6. Notice that the 2 and 6 can be simplified to 1 and a 3. And do we need to write the 1? No, you can have it without. The next one we're going to do is question 14. We have 2 cube roots of 4 over 7 minus the cube root of 4 over 14. Again, we have to simplify. To simplify, we need to have the common denominator. We have the same radical part, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by 2, which will give us our common denominator of 14. So 4 cube roots of 4 over 14 minus the cube root of 4 over 14. 4 minus the understood 1 gives me 3 cube roots of 4 over 14. Let's take a look at number 16 next. It says 3x square root of 7 over 5 plus the square root of 7x squared over 100. This one's already its simplest form. This one we have to bring out the x squared, and we need to bring out the 100. So I'm going to just rewrite my first one. Square root of x squared is going to come out as an x. Square root of 100 is 10. And this 7 stays under the radical. Notice that our variable and radical portions, x squared of 7, are the same in both. So then all we have to do is find a common denominator. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2 to get 6x squared of 7 over 10 plus x squared of 7 over 10. 6 plus the 1 gives me 7x squared of 7 over 10. Notice that the variable and radical parts do not change when we add or subtract. Let's move on to number 17. It says 7 square roots of 9 minus 7 plus the square root of 3. All right, square root of 9 is the same as 3, so 7 times 3. Here we have a radical, and over here we have 21 minus 7 is 14. And we cannot put square roots with whole numbers or whole numbers with square roots. We can multiply them, but you can't add them, so we leave it as a binomial, 2 separate terms. After 17, let's do number 19. 2 plus 3 square roots of y squared minus 6 square roots of y squared plus 5. Let's simplify the square roots of y squared. I get 2 plus 3y minus 6y plus 5. We can put these two together, and we can put these two together. So let's do that. I get negative 3y plus 7. Could you have 7 minus 3y? Of course. Let's move on to 21. 3 square roots of 108 minus 2 square roots of 18 minus 3 square roots of 48. We need to find out if what divides into 108. I'm going to say, let's go with a 4 and 54, 27. Yeah, that's right. And over here, let's split it into 9 and 2, and over here, 16 and 3. I think I'm going to be able to bust this up a couple times. 3's out there. When I bring the 4 out, it becomes a 2. 27 is 9 times 3. When I bring the 9 out, it's another 3, and then this is a leftover 3. Here, I have a 2 out there already. Bring this 9 out, it becomes a 3. 2 stays behind. Over here, I have a 3 out there already. Bring the 16 out, it becomes a 4. 3 left over. Let's do some simplifying. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18 square roots of 3. Minus 2 times 3 is 6 square roots of 2. 3 times 4 gives me negative 12 square roots of 3. We can put square roots of 3 with square roots of 3. So 18 minus 12 gives me 6 of them. And minus 6 square roots of 2. Next one is question 22. We have negative square root of 75 plus the square root of 12 minus 3 square roots of 3. Let's split 75 into 25 times 3. 12 is 4 times 3. Let's bring out, the negative is already out front, so I'm going to have a negative. 25 comes out as a 5. 3 stays under. Plus 4 comes out as a 2. 3 stays under. 3 square roots of 3 just comes down because that is already in simplest form. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Negative 3 and negative 3 makes negative 6. Notice that the same radical parts can go together. After 22, let's do 23. Negative 5 cube roots of 625 plus the cube root of 40. Cube root column, I see that 125 times 5 is in the cube root column. I also recognize 40 as 8 times 5, so when I bring out 125, the cube root of 125 is 5. 25 times negative 5 gives me negative 25 cube roots of 5. Over here, the 8 comes out as a 2 cube roots of 5. Negative 25 plus 2 gives me negative 23 cube roots of 5. The next one is question 24. Negative 2 cube roots of 108 minus cube root of 32. Just like we did a couple examples ago, we're going to split 108 into 27 times 4. This one we're going to split into 8 times 4. When it's a square root, we split it into 16 and 2, but when it's a cube root, since 8 is a perfect cube, we're going to bring it out that way. We have a negative 2 out front already. Bring 27 out, it becomes a 3 out there, and we're left with the cube root of 4. Over here, we bring the cube root of 8 out. It's a negative 2 cube root of 4. So I get negative 6, and negative 2 makes negative 6. Negative 6 and negative 2 make negative 8 cube roots of 4. And the last one is question 25. We have the square root of 9b cubed minus the square root of 25b cubed plus 16b cubed. Let's bring out what we can. 9 comes out as a 3. B cubed, b squared would come out as a b, and then one of the b's would be left over. 25 would come out as a 5. B cubed would be b square root b. 16, this is a square root, of course, would come out as a 4b square root b. So I have 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 gives me 2b square root b. Notice that the radical and variable portion does not change when you add or subtract. Good luck.